Romans, if you would, over in Romans chapter 12. And we're going to be looking tonight at maintaining your momentum. Maintaining your momentum. And you know, many times I see a lot of folks who they get involved in church, they get excited in church, they come to accept the Lord, and they take on that relationship, and they begin to a relationship with the Lord, and they come out like a blazing house fire. Mm-hmm. And you know, I've seen this many times, and man, they're setting the world on fire. You know, going to do a lot of things for the Lord, and I admire that zeal and that desire. But somehow, for some reason, the momentum does not sustain itself. And the momentum does not continue. It seems like in just a short time, that fire has seemed to be a smoldering embers, you know, and it's no longer what it once was. But we're going to be looking here tonight just a little bit what the Apostle Paul was writing about, maintaining and keeping that momentum that we all need to keep. And you know, the Apostle Paul faced many situations. He faced many obstacles in his walk, in his ministry. Many times he was out and things that he encountered and he had to deal with. And you know, things that will, I guess for a normal, we'll use this word, for a normal human being would have stopped them. Would have absolutely stopped the momentum, would have absolutely sidetracked them, derailed them, absolutely got them to where they just lost the zeal and the desire. The momentum would absolutely cease. You know, I can't think of anybody that I know personally that's been imprisoned for their stand for Christ. Now think about that. Now I've been ridiculed, I've been talked about, I've been the subject at the Walmart. You know, it seemed like there's a section at Walmart that's been pretty popular with me over there. You know, where folks is, you know, they gather and whatever, and somebody will stop everybody, because let me tell you how bad your pastor is. And, you know, anymore I kind of laugh about it. I think anymore it just kind of, it's like water on the duck's back anymore. And I've got Teflon hides, you know, from it. I've had to develop it. And, but, you know, I've never faced what the Apostle Paul had ever encountered. I've never been put up here on the hill. I've never had the police come and say, "Preacher, we're going to take you to jail because you're this or you've done this." They've never tied me up, whipped me, and put me in chains and shackles and hauled me off. Never done any of that. But the Apostle Paul faced these things, but yet he kept the momentum going. And even in the end of his life, towards the end, the last days, he said, "I've kept the faith. I've fought a good fight." And you know, he kept that momentum continually going. And he is an inspiration for every single one of us. Our momentum starts, but it's not simply to be a big inferno to fade out. It's to continue to burn. You know, I've used this example before. I've talked about NASCAR. And, you know, there's some NASCAR fans here. You know, if you're from the South and you're a hillbilly, and some people say you're a redneck, you know what you like? You like fast cars. You like, you love it. I'm like that. Anything that revs up, it's got tires on it, and sounds good, I like it. I just do. I like hot rods, motorcycles. I don't care what it is. If it revs up, I like it. And I talked about NASCAR. You know, them old boys, they run one way. They put that pedal down, and they either wreck, win, or blow it up. One of those things. They don't ease it around through there saying, "I'm taking it easy on it because I don't want to blow it up. I don't want to wreck." Well, if you do that, you can assure your position is going to be dead last. Mm-hmm. That's where you're going to finish. You know, if that's your style of racing. You know, that was the thing about Dale Earnhardt, you know, the Dale singer. They called him the Intimidator, and, you know, people said, "Oh, he raced dirty, he did all this stuff." I'm going to tell you what, if he was behind you, you might as well look out, because he's either going to bump you and then he'd grin at you and say Rubbin's racing or something like that, or he'd spin you out, or he'd run around, he'd do something. He's wide open. That's all he knew. Well, as Christians, that's the way we should be on our spiritual walk, is wide open. Absolute pedal to the metal, wide open till we meet Jesus. But many times we put her in neutral, or we coast over onto the pit lane there a minute, pit row or whatever, and take a little break. But we're going to look here what Apostle Paul says about maintaining the momentum in chapter 12 of Romans, but starting at verse number 9. And the word says, "Let love be without dissimulation, abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, and honor, preferring one another. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulations, continuing instant in prayer." Now, the momentum has started. It's fired up. We're absolutely, we're on fire, and we're working for the Lord, and we've determined, and we've made a vow, or we've made a commitment to God that we're going to do as much as we can. We're going to work for Him. We're going to come to church. We're going to invite people to church. We're going to testify. We're going to witness. We're going to help. We're going to work at church. We're going to do whatever we can to further the kingdom of God.